So the Washington Commanders cut Carson Wentz today. It saves them around $26 million in cap space. That's a sizable chunk. Obviously, Carson Wentz went to another place and it didn't work out. Stop me if you've heard this one before with Carson Wentz.
He went to another place again.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
Yeah. So Sam Howell seems to be in position as the future of the Washington Commanders. I like this. I liked the pickup of Sam Howell in the draft last year. I thought he'd get more opportunities because of Carson Wentz's injury history, but Taylor Heineke stepped up, and we didn't see Sam Howell until the end of the year, and obviously we know how that played out. He had a pretty good game. So with Carson Wentz available, there's a team that needs a quarterback, Joe. Frank Reich, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That was your guy in Philly. You brought him into Indy. That didn't work out there. Obviously, it's not working out in Washington. No. Frank, no.
It would be on a new deal, too, right?
Yeah,
a cheaper deal.
It would be on a cheaper deal, but still no. You don't know. At this point, we know what Carson Wentz is. I wouldn't even want him in the room. Period. Move on. I would rather have another season of Sam Darnold at Carolina.
Well, I think
Carson Wentz.
I think that is in play.
It is. It's entirely in play.
Particularly if they use that number 9 pick on a quarterback.
Which gets us to mock draft season. Are you hyped, Joe?
Yes.
Let's go.
Of course.
We've been doing this every day. We give you a mock draft because I am convinced that NFL mock drafts are just another version of fanfics for dudes. Okay? Like, if you think wrestling storylines get dudes going.
Go on.
Oh, no. See, even Dennis, Mr. Wrestling guy over there, you start getting into like, well, at one point Triple H was with D-Generation X, but he joined like the corporate ministry, and then
he started Evolution.
And then that happens, and then at some point Sting is in the rafters watching. Now I'm confusing my two wrestling promotions. The point is, people, we as dudes like some fan fiction, and mock drafts are exactly that. So our guy Ryan Wilson has a new mock draft. Put it out 2 hours ago.
Talk about the draft.
Headline.
Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me?
Colts, Bucks, trade up for QBs, Bears, stockpile picks for the future. So in this mock draft, the Indianapolis Colts move up to the number 1 spot to take. Joe, you get one guess.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, it is. C.J. Stroud to the Houston Texans, number 2. Jalen Carter to the Arizona Cardinals. And then the Bears move back to the 4th spot in this mock draft with the Colts. And they pick up Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama. Scroll. Here we are with the Carolina Panthers with the 9th pick. There is no trade for the Carolina Panthers, no moving back, no moving up to get a quarterback because, according to Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft, the Carolina Panthers will take, you got one guess?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. Miles Murphy. Defensive tackle. Klemp.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't... Just like they last year, they broke the NC State seal, the Panthers, by taking Ike Ekwonu. I don't think they've ever drafted a player from Clemson before. I think that's true. So that would be 2 years in a row.
I think you're right. It
would be 2 years in a row. The Panthers try to win back because the Carolina Hurricanes have now alienated all of the colleges in the greater in the 2 states. So. The Panthers need to do the reach out programs.
Yes, thanks to the Stadium Series. That was a love fest for the Wolfpack.
I don't see this happening, but I mean it's going to change however many times. If they stay at 9, I do think they would take someone to help them. But again, I would think, given all of the action in front of them, just like last year, it was the 6th pick, right, where they got Ike Ekwonu. At 9, you're probably going to have the choice of the actual top offensive lineman in the draft. That doesn't happen that often. You get another one of those, you stack it up there. I would be okay with that.
I guess the question
assuming they could trade for Carr, assuming they could make a deal for Garoppolo or someone else. I would. That's the route I would like to see them go at quarterback.
Well, Carr's
barring going up and getting Stroud. I believe Stroud is the only quarterback worth having in this draft class.
Carr's a free man. You can go wherever he wants
now that he's free. Yes,
yeah, you have
to pay him.
You got to pay him. We don't know what he's asking for, although I do know that Mr.
$40 million.
David Carr has been out there talking about the process and everything else. Yeah, in this mock draft, all the quarterbacks that you would want are gone.
Yeah, by 8.
By 8, Will Levis to the Buccaneers. And I
Even-
guess
even
that's
the
the
ones
question.
you wouldn't want are gone. Like, I could be dead wrong about Anthony Richardson and Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. They have big Jake Locker energy to me. And Bryce Young is, I'm sorry, I just think he's too small. I just think he is. He's not that athletic.
Sure.
He doesn't run. And he is very accurate, but you have to be Drew Brees accurate to be his size and flourish in the NFL. And I just don't see that happening.
See, that's the problem right now when we talk about QBs. And I'll make reference to this between now and the actual draft in April. You know, anytime Dennis posts something Panthers related on our YouTube channel, the draft nicks come out of nowhere. They come out of the woodwork, right? And I guess they've been breaking down all sorts of internet film that they can get their hands on, and they convince themselves that, well, no, Anthony Richardson's the guy. Whether you think he's the guy or not, or you're truly high on Will Levis, history tells you that these 4 quarterbacks that we're obsessing over right now, only one of them has a chance of being any good. One. Even in the most celebrated draft class we've had in recent memory, which the further we get away from it, the more I'm convinced that was a made-for-television product to get you to watch it in the middle of a pandemic, all right? Because what else were we doing? So we talked ourselves silly into that Trevor Lawrence class. Like, this is it. This is the greatest class we've ever seen. And
Well, I wouldn't dismiss Justin Fields yet.
I'm not dismissing that either yet.
Okay.
But out of the 5 guys that we obsessed over.
Oh, they were all supposed to be home runs.
They're all supposed to be home runs, right? And then we had, and let's not forget that because, you know, Mac Jones managed to rub 2 sticks together and put fire once. They was like, no, did everybody make a mistake? Skippy, is Mac Jones? Are we going to be doing a 30 for 30 of the Mac Jones 5 of the guys who were drafted before him, like we did for Tom Brady? Of course, Mac Jones is whatever at this point. So all of this is to say, work yourself up into a lather and pick your guy because we are a couple of weeks away from doing this quarterback week. Like it's going to be Will Levis week where people are really high up on this guy. He's moving up the board. It's all smoke and mirrors to get you interested in a trade. It's all smoke and mirrors to throw other teams off the scent. Somebody's going to go crazy Ivan here like in Red October and do something that nobody expected. That's why we watch the draft. But I can tell you with extreme confidence that only one of these guys has a chance of being good, and we don't know which one it's going to be. We don't.